You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
You are rocking with the hottest. Put your hands up for the boss.
You know
the Mix Master is live. Get ready.
Try to run, try to hide. Break on
You're listening to the boss of the big ball.
to the other side. Break on through to the other side.
JBTHETICKET.
We chased our pleasures here, dug our treasures there. But can you still recall?
Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Waking you up early in the morning here in Las Vegas. JP the Ticket and Vegas Scoreboard Express back at you live for this Sunday. Giving you the grease and the picks to put cash in your pocket. And we're breaking through to the other side over at the Sportsbook. Got my guys on the line with me. My main man, Scotty, beam him up, Webb from the East Coast Sports Investors and MLBDaily.com. Going to be talking some spring training baseball. Good morning, Scotty. How you doing?
I am doing outstanding, JB. Good morning, my friend.
I'm so glad to have you here. Also got my main man, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors CEO. Going to be talking some college basketball with us this morning, touching on a little bit of NBA. And you're welcome to jump on the diamond as well with Scotty. Good morning, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's game day as always. UConn Huskies a win today. Win the Big East, so we're ready.
There you go, talking about that Big East and more college basketball. Giving you the recap this morning. My main man, Troy West. West. From TroyWins.com. It's Troy West. Follow him on Instagram. What's going on, Troy? Good morning to you.
Good morning, JB. Good morning, Vegas. Thanks for having me.
That's right. We're so glad to have you back this morning. We're rocking. Giving you that rock and roll, listening to the Doors in the background, and we've opened up the door to a newcomer here at the big board, my main man, Jake Papi, from Pick It with Papi, Papi's Picks, winnable.com. Good morning, Jake. How you doing?
Good morning, JB. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to have you guys here with us. When we get back from this short commercial break, we're jumping straight into the grease. Let's get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big board.
It's time to wake up and win the weekend.
You're listening to the boss of the big board. JBTHETICKET. Giving you that grease.
Join me every Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time for the live action on Vegas Scoreboard Express on KSHP 107.1 FM and AM 1400. Dive into the game day with my in-depth analysis, expert predictions, and winning plays from the sharpest minds in sports betting. It's more than just placing bets. It's about securing wins. Head over to JBTHETICKET.com and be sure to tune in to KSHP this weekend from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time to ride the winning wave with VSX. Tune in and get your money back from the sports book. All money, all sports, no bull. Miss the live show? Subscribe to Vegas Scoreboard Express on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and wherever you enjoy your favorite podcast and radio listening.
You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network. To the boss of the big ball. JBTHETICKET. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Turn that shit off. Giving you that grease.
That's right, giving you the grease. All money, all sports, no bull. JB the Ticket back at you live here in Las Vegas, live on the air, KSHP AM 1400 and 107.1 FM. It's the All Sports Sunday, some hoops and baseball with you. Got him on the line, my main man, Scotty, beam him up, Webb from MLBDaily.com and the East Coast Sports Investor CEO, Jeff Dawson, Troy West from TroyWins.com, and Jake Papi from Pick It with Papi. So, guys, let's get into it. Yesterday was eventful in college basketball. We took a couple of early losses, though. I went 0 for 3 on those picks, man. We were like, yo! What's going on with those big dogs? They weren't knocking. Animal Control was on patrol yesterday, and to talk about it with me, Troy West From TroyWins.com, we were giving out some plays yesterday, man. Some things didn't come through for us. You know, we're honest here. But let's talk about the first win that you picked up. You picked Illinois to take the money line yesterday. They were able to get it done. The Fighting Illini trying to put themselves on the bubble. And we've been looking at a lot of the parity in college basketball. The smaller teams are getting the job done. The SEC is wild all across the board. Got some college basketball teams scoring over 100 points. But when you look at some of the things that we saw yesterday, Kansas losing on the road, getting exposed yesterday, we weren't very happy about that when we saw that these guys were down only one at halftime, but just couldn't pull it out. But again, you did pick Illinois, Troy, 91-83 over Wisconsin. Illinois looking for a seed at least in the top 7. Go ahead, Troy.
Well, JB, like you said, you know, Kansas has had their road woes all year long, and they did it once again, losing at Baylor. It's just been a crazy year. I mean, you know, Houston, number 1 team in the country, they get the buzzer beater win at Oklahoma. That was a heck of a basketball game. Not all the dogs were barking. A lot of dogs were, but overall, great day of college basketball. My team, Purdue, showed up, got the win at home against Michigan State. They're still looking good. There's just a lot of parity, JB. We talked about it yesterday. On any given night, it seems like these teams going on the road, they can get flustered, and we saw it again yesterday. And also want to bring him on, my main man, Scotty. Beam him up, Webb. MLB-daily.com, East Coast Sports Investors contributor, and also one of the VSX co-hosts here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Kentucky. We took Arkansas yesterday. These guys were fighting. The dog was barking, but they ultimately end up taking the L. This is the big game I was talking about. Over 213 points scored. Arkansas losing on the road to Kentucky, 102-111. Throwing this one over to you, Scotty. When you take a look at the Kentucky Wildcats, do you think that they're going to go back to prominence? Because we know that Calipari over the last decade was the king of the one and done. He recruited all these guys that played a year, maybe a half a semester, and went to the NBA. But now having to rely more on a true, quote-unquote, college basketball player, Kentucky's looking pretty tough in the SEC, being able to not only run up the point scores on the totals, but also getting covers and winning the spread. So all you Kentucky Wildcat fans out there, you got your win. We thought we had you. But again, Scotty, go ahead. Your thoughts on Kentucky moving into March. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Kentucky's one of those weird teams in a sense that I think they're rounding into shape in terms of offensively. I mean, they can score with any team. They're the best scoring team in college basketball. But I also think that they have a hard time on defense. So when you're talking about, you know, a team that has, you know, a lot of NBA talent on their team and lots of kids that can play in the NBA, I think that you're really looking at a team that if they can put 6 games together on defense, they're going to be one of the teams that you can look at in March. But my concern would be that they can't do that. So I am very hesitant to be backing Kentucky in going into the tournament.
Well, taking a look at that, those Kentucky Wildcats, it was a little bit rough for them. Also, we had another dog go bad on us yesterday. Animal Control was on patrol with this one, and to talk to you this morning, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors. Oklahoma State obliterated when they went down to Texas. I didn't think Texas was going to get a blowout. I saw this move from 9 to 10 to 14. It moved back to 10. Ton of money came in on Oklahoma State, but ultimately they fell short 65-81. When you talk about the Texas Longhorns right now, unranked, fell out of the rankings, but they are still not a 20-win team, and with only 2 games left around the conferences. Do you think Texas can get that 20th win and get in on the bubble, or are they going to be one of these high-end NIT teams? Go ahead, Jeff Dawson.
You know, I'm going to circle back for one quick second, JB, on that Kentucky team and Arkansas. We had the Arkansas team total over, and we had the over in the game, so it was a great one. We do have some Kentucky at 18 and 20-1 earlier this year. So, you know, again, you want to build that portfolio so you have options come, you know, later in the tournament itself here. Texas, you know, there's no Kevin Durant there. Not trying to be a wise guy, but they're rounding into form. They're one of those teams that can kind of play both styles, JB. They got a good defense. They can score, but I've seen more success with them in the 60-70 range when they got to kick it up a notch against a BYU and score in the 80s, or a Kansas. That's when they struggle. They've won their last two against Tech and Oklahoma State. They travel to Baylor on Monday. We have them losing 78-71. Then they come back home Saturday, which will be a great game against Oklahoma, the final game of the year there. I watched Oklahoma and Houston battle last night. So 19-10, they really need to win the last two games to get to 21-10. We have them ranked 26th right now in the country in our model. I think they get in. They're probably a first weekend win one, lose one. It'd be tough for me to see them get into the second weekend, JB.
There you go, telling you that he's worried about the Texas Longhorns and chomping at the bit. My main man, Jake Papi from Pick It with Papi, PapisPicks, winnable.com. So glad to have you this morning, Jake. I want to talk to you about another big dog that I had yesterday in the Pac-12. Again, Arizona obliterating Oregon. 103-83. I'm telling you right now, the dogs were in the pound. Animal control was on patrol. You're talking about Oregon, a strong Pac-12, the last year of Pac-12 basketball. A lot of people haven't been talking about that. They were more concerned with the last year of the Pac-12 in college football, but this has also been a strong conference in college basketball. Several teams over 18 wins. We thought Oregon was a dog that was barking yesterday, but unfortunately they got picked up by the pound down in Arizona, and the Cats got them scratched up 103-83. So, Jake, when you talk about the Arizona Wildcats right now, ranked number 6 in the country, no one's talking about them. No one knows who's on their roster, but they are putting cash in people's pockets, getting wins and covering spreads. How do you think the Pac-12 is going to fare in the field of 64? Would we see 1, 2, maybe 3 teams? Go ahead, Jake.
You know, that's a pretty tough question. I was thinking about this weekend. I think the Pac-12 actually is going to struggle in the tournament. There's some teams that, you know, are on the bubble now and some teams that aren't even going to get in. With Arizona, though, I do think Arizona has a chance to make a run to the Elite Eight. I think they have a deep tournament team. They can score the basketball. They can play defense. But the thing is I would say actually, I'm sorry, JB, I got caught up here. I would say that, I could see Arizona making a deep run, but that's it for the Pac-12.
Yeah, that's it for the Pac-12. He doesn't like it. When we get back from this short commercial break, guys, going to jump into some of the college basketball action on the line for you today. Again, you guys get over to my friends at Fubo TV. FuboTV.com, that is, /JB, giving you 15% off and saving you some money. So I'm going to go around the big board here and let everybody tell the listeners, if you're a new listener,